Welcome you all. Welcome back to the channel. This is Life is But a Dream. And I'm so sorry for the background noise, but Sophie is asleep and snoring. And I think if I go in my office, she will come in the office and be sitting at my foot begging me to get her up. All right, so today I was over on TikTok and I saw this guy and he was talking about conjugal visits. And I was like, dang, I ain't heard that term in a long time. Conjugal visits. And it's only like maybe four states that still offer conjugal visits. Now, I always thought that conjugal visits were visits that you would have to have with a husband or wife. Therefore, you can't have a conjugal visit with your girlfriend, and or your love after lockup or love during lockup or love whatever them shows are. But I was interested. Now I'm gonna tell you this, that when you see stories on TikTok, you have to really go and dig into those stories because more than likely they can be made up stories. So I went and looked and saw an NBC ad, and came up with this particular script for me to give to you. So today we'll be exploring the tragic story of Tanya Thomas and her husband Anthony Corey, whose relationship culminated in a disastrous incident during a conjugal visit at California's Mule Creek State Prison. And this happened July of 2024. So let's give a little background story about Anthony. Anthony and Tanya, they knew each other from high school. They had a child together. The child is now 25 years old, or at the time of the story, the child was 25. One of her cousins got onto a news show I saw over on YouTube, and they, kind of talked about Tanya and how the family was not for him simply because he locked up. The family looking sideways. So Anthony's criminal history is marked by violent offenses. In 1999, hey Riri Carter, happy to see you as well. In 1999, he was convicted of attempted second degree murder of his 19-year-old girlfriends. And court records reveal that Curry shot her in the head and abandoned her at a remote truck stop in Richmond, California. However, she did not pass away. She survived and was left permanently blind and partially paralyzed. In 2008, Curry was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for this attempted ending of life. I don't know how YouTube do it with the way that we can speak. But, he was charged with murder with the possibility, life with the possibility of parole. Now, the relationship with Tanya and Anthony relationship began, and it was very scarce. Like I said, she was pregnant by him, and she didn't really see him until they saw him on the news about the story about this 19-year-old lady. However, it was known that they was married while he was incarcerated. Tanya, who was a 47-year-old single mother who had her own battles with lupus for much of her life, was described by her cousin Janine Rojo as a devout mother and resilient individual. And on July the 1st, 2024, Tanya had her conjugal visit with Anthony Curry at the Mule Creek. I don't know why am I nervous? I don't know. It's just three of us in here, but at the Mule Creek State Prison for a conjugal visit. During their time, the family visit is what they call them. Curry alerted prison that his wife Tanya, had lost consciousness. Despite immediately trying to save her life, officers and the emergency responders pronounced her dead. The Alameda County Coroner's Office later determined that Tanya's death was caused by strangulation, and he was charged with her murder. Her family was devastated by her untimely death. Hi, Sonia. Welcome back, babes. Her family was devastated by her untimely death, and her cousin Janine expressed profound grief and raised concern about the prison's their visitation policies. She questioned why inmates with histories of severe violent crimes like Curry was permitted. What is going on? Permitted. I wrote the script. Permitted unsupervised conjugal visits. So the way that I learned this, guys, was that whenever they would call them visits. So whenever you have a family visit on the prison compound, you can have an apartment type facility. The prisoner will have to report, they have to show that they are still there on the compound at least 4 times within a 24-hour period. These visits can last up to 40 hours. So you, the visitor, are not actually, you don't have to, go and have any type of communication with the prison officials. Therefore, this woman could have been in that apartment dead at the very start of their visit. From what I learned was that she was upset with him because he told her that he was going for a parole hearing. And I don't know if anyone has ever dealt with anyone who's been in prison, but every time you turn around, they always, oh, I'm gonna be up for parole and I should get out this date and blah 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 blah. Now he did go up for parole in 2024. However, he was declined. They said, no, you're not gonna get out. He told her that he was coming back up for parole again in 2025, and therefore she went to him because this is some public knowledge. You could go on, like, I live in the state of Georgia. You could go on the Georgia DOL, what is it, DOC, and you can actually look up the person's information, and it will tell you that they're having a parole hearing on this date. And then it's even been situations where one of my girlfriends, she was dating this guy, and he ended up going to prison. And we went to court. I took her to court to go see, the sentencing and everything. The sentencing was life without the possibility of parole. But for some reason, he kept telling my friend that he was eligible for parole. And she just wanted, I don't know. Some people be wanting to believe certain things. And I don't know if y'all know that I'm nosy, but I'm a nosy helper. And I have since then even went to go and see if this person was out of prison, and it still say life without the possibility of parole. She done got over him since then, but at the same time, those prisoners, they could be very charismatic and they can have you thinking some stuff. And I believe that this is probably what Tanya was facing when it came to dealing with Anthony. And like I said, she had a child by him. So basically, I'm sure every time, she would question when you gonna get out, when you gonna get out. He probably told her, "Oh, I'm eligible for parole. I know they gonna let me out. I have good behavior, and blah 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 blah." And you probably believe they have good behavior, especially if the prison is allowing you to do these family visits or conjugal visits. You say, I can't believe they let them stay. Yeah. In California, they say it's four prisons that will allow you, I mean, four states that still allow conjugal visits. And in California, and then make it so bad, y'all. Let me finish with my script, okay? All right. So, her cousin concern intensified after learning of a similar incident at the same prison. So, not only in July of 2024 did Tanya die, in November of 2024, another lady named Stephanie, she went to go visit her husband in prison and she ended up being strangled. And every time the prison has contacted the family, they say that they passed out. They passed out. And when they get the coroner report back, they say that they were strangled. For Stephanie, that her family called her Stevie. And when I was doing the research on Tanya, I kept seeing this Stevie lady. And I was like, wow, two in a year? You mean to tell me two women in a year going to the prison for a conjugal visit with violent? Okay, so I told y'all what Anthony was in prison for. Anthony was in prison for shooting his 19-year-old girlfriend at the time in the head and dumping her off at a truck stop. And she survived. And she was able to report that he did this. That's why earlier today when I went live, I was talking about the people that commit these type of crimes. I don't understand what do they have in their head for them to think that they can actually get away with these type of crimes. Too much freedom. Oh, and so basically the guy who okay, so her name was Stephanie Dowles, who was allegedly strangled during her conjugal visit with her husband, David Brinson, a convicted murderer serving consecutive life sentences for killing four men in an apartment. He supposedly thought that this man had the dope. And he went in there trying to get the dope and the money. And they was just sitting there looking at a daggone basketball game. And they was killed. And she go and marry him while he in prison. And she lost her life at one of these visits. The families are asking that, they cut back on some of these freedoms that the inmates are allowed. So they're asking, like, if you're in prison for a um violent crime, then they feel like you should not have the freedom to have these type of visits. You're not looking for to be released out on the streets. So a lot of times when people have life sentences, they know that this is the place where they're going to die. So it doesn't matter whether or not they get added charges on their account because they're not going to be free anyway, whether they have good behavior or not. So what is the point of them being able to have these conjugal visits with people from the outside? I can understand a person getting visits from their family members, where you may get an hour or two to sit in and speak to them for a little while, like a birthday visit or something like that, but not no 40-hour visit. A 40-hour visit. 40-hour visit. So what the family is asking is that if you are able to have these type of visits, it should not be with a person who has the background like these two men. The first man, he shot this woman thinking that he was going to end her life. So he had no guilt or regard for life when he tried to go in and, take her life. That means that you don't care about nobody else's life. So what made me feel like even if we supposed to love, because I'm sure that they supposed to love one another. It was his 19-year-old girlfriend at the time. So evidently it was some love there, even if it was on her part. So like what? Anything can happen. Then you have to ask, okay, so let me go. When I read this what caught my attention. Of course, the prison gonna say that it's very rare that those happen. The overnight visits are intended to support family connections and successful rehabilitation, according to the Corrections Department. Inmates on death row convicted of sex crimes and under disciplinary restrictions are ineligible for considerations, according to the department. Family visits occur in private apartment like facilities on the prison ground and last anywhere from 30 to 40 hours. Inmates have to show themselves for account at least 4 times a day in a 24-hour period, according to the department. The families of both women need said that they believe neither Curry or Dow's husband, David Brinson, 54, should have been allowed the visits. They was also, they had convicted crimes. Both families said that they want to see the ineligible rules change and protections added for ensuring that the people are safe during unsupervised visits. So I'm assuming that with that being said, they feel like, okay, yes, the inmate have to do a 4 time count within a 24-hour period. Therefore, I feel like you should have to also know that while you're having this type of visitation, it may be an officer coming in and inspecting the unit. Because, like I said, okay, you have anywhere from 30 to 40 hours that you can have this visit. So, if no one is coming to the apartment due to the privacy of this type of visit, then you could be there from 2 hours all the way until they decide to report that you supposedly are unconscious. And it could have happened as soon as they closed the doors. And every time you went out for count, that's all that mattered to them as long as they could see you at count. So I guess what the family is saying is while they're having this type of visitation, then they should also have where you should be no, it should be known to the visitor as well as the prisoner that during this time you may have someone come in and do a inspection of the unit just to see what's going on in there and then give you your privacy or whatever so y'all can do whatever y'all gonna be doing up in there. I'll just say. But I couldn't believe that happened July 1st. And then it turned around happened in November the same year at the same facility. And the the first girl, Tanya, her family was like, they didn't even call them until the next day. They called the son, and your son is out there thinking that you gonna be okay and taking care of his mother while she at the prison because you his father, and you kill his mother at the prison. If it's a family visit, I think me and my son would have had to go together because me and my son, that son probably don't never want nothing to do with him. I mean, even before the whole little visit, he probably didn't want nothing to do with that man. Like, Mom, that's a prisoner. You going to visit him. You married him while he was in prison. After he had tried to kill the 19-year-old girlfriend, left her for dead at a truck stop. Mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that you have it's other variables. Like you have to like I said, the violent crimes, the people that are in there for SA, molestation, those people, right, they should not have visitors at all. And then you have to also think about the mentality of the prisoner. I've seen people that has gone to prison, and before they was even arrested and went to prison, I felt like they was a normal person. And the mindset of a prisoner, when you are involved inside with all those different people from all different walks of life, because some people they are confined to their communities and their neighborhoods. So basically, when you're confined to your community and your neighborhood, that's all you know. And say, like I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, right? So by me being in Atlanta, Georgia, I go to prison and I am in a prison where there are people from North Georgia, South Georgia, West Georgia. It's enemy territories in the prison. So you're confined in a facility with all different walks of life. And believe it or not, y'all, in a sense, I feel like we're all still segregated, right? So, like within my community that I live in, I have majority African American people live in my subdivision. We may have like two or three white families and maybe, three or four Hispanic families. But for the most part, we don't necessarily deal with neighbors and things like that. I say that too, Sonya. Like, I don't know. I don't think that I could do a conjugal visit. I don't even think that after he was convicted, because the cousin was like, I'm gonna tell y'all the name is, just type in Tanya Thompson, and it's Tania. And she's a very beautiful woman. But if you type in her on YouTube, you should get a video of this lady interviewing her cousin. And then the other girl name was Stephanie Dow, if I'm not mistaken. And both of these women are very beautiful women. I just don't understand, like, with her, for instance. Now, you was pregnant by this guy. He ended up dealing with this 19-year-old person. The 19-year-old person was left for dead at a truck stop. That's all that I needed to know right there. Like, I ain't trying to be your friend. Yeah, you my baby daddy, but I don't even want my child to know you. For real, for real. Like, mm-mm. Oh no, I ain't mean spend your birthday. I know that my mama, her brother, he was in prison, and my grandma would be like, "Oh, so I need somebody to take me to go see him. His birthday, and I want to see him this weekend." I ain't never understand that relationship either because yeah, that was my uncle or whatever, but for the majority of my life, he was in prison. And I felt like when he ended up getting out of prison when I was, I think, 16, it was very hard for me to have the emotions that my grandmother and my some of my other family members to have with him, because I felt like he was a stranger. Like, you're a stranger to me. I don't know you, and then all I know is where you been this whole time. It was a picture that my grandmother had in her photo album, and I was a little bitty baby. And basically, we are at a prison visiting him on this picture, and my grandmother dragging me to go visit him at a a prison. And he was a stranger. I don't know him. She said, I'm not even going to visit. Told my son, you go to that prison. Don't call me. I ain't no good pen pal either. I want do they still I heard they get tablets. I heard they get tablets. They don't get cell phones, but I heard they get tablets and they could communicate through some type of app. Like, I when I be on TikTok, you might come across any type of video. And they be talking about how they been in the date thing to meet these prisoners and all kind of stuff. And I'm really be like, what? Girl, I ain't that hard up for nothing. Nothing. Oh, they still get letters. Okay. I ain't that hard up, baby. And listen, I understand the relationship between a mother and their sons, or even a mother and their daughters, because y'all know we had seen the video where the girl had went to prison because she was a prison guard, and she ended up messing with the inmates and ended up going to prison. But don't call me for nothing. Like, I thought I raised you in a manner to where you don't have to go through that. I'm trying to keep you in a situation where you can still be free, and prison to me is slavery. Hi, just Andrea, welcome. And that's why I named this video Life is But a Dream, because for some reason I feel like too many people do not be they be within a dream. It's almost like they know what's good for them, but they just want to have some type of other type of thoughts. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. That was like what I was saying earlier about my friend. We had went to court. We seen the sentencing of the guy who was he was told that he had life without parole. But for some reason, for many years, it wasn't just the 6 months after the sentencing, but for many years after the sentencing, this girl had it in her mind, heart, and spirit that he was gonna have parole. They were gonna give him parole. But they already told you that he had life without the possibility of parole. So that means that you're gonna live your entire natural life in prison. But for some reason, he gonna get out. And those are the fallacies and the fairy tales that girls, some people just live off of. That's why I say you gotta live life in reality. Yes, my parents, they had all the fairy tales for me, but once I had became a adult, I realized that's a dream. That's a dream. And guess what? You got to live into your reality, and you got to make a way for yourself, because I'm one of them people that when I was growing up, I did not believe I was poor. I didn't even believe I was poor. And that's because my parents did everything so that we can have any and everything that we wanted. But I bet you they probably was struggling paying light bills and all kind of shit just because what we wanted. I realized it's not a fairy tale. I did. Cause I had to then go out on my own and do things for myself. And that's just how it is. But I grew up, I thought that we were, child, you couldn't tell me we weren't rich. And now that I look back on how we actually grew up, it was a whole lot of pitching in. You know, they say it takes a village. And basically, we had a village. Everybody did what everybody did. I had my aunts and my grandparents and my parents, and they all pitched in to make sure that we all had what we wanted. And it is what it is. So, shit. But when I grew up and realized, bitch, I wasn't rich, that was just the hard work your parents was putting in so that y'all could be happy. And we grew up, I know that we grew up messed up because we were spoiled. Sonya J, I thought you was already in here. Hey again, girl. We were spoiled as I don't know what. That just that's why I'm not a parent, but sometimes I feel like if you put your children in their place early on in life, then they'll know. Like with me, when they come to like the nieces and nephews and stuff, I think that I'm doing really good with them because I make it to where if they call me and say, Auntie, can you give me, because I got a niece right now, she might call me and say, Auntie, can you give me $60? And for a while, I kept on telling her, I don't have it. I don't have it. Oh, you mean Andrea? I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. But I started telling her, hey, I got a couple of loads of clothes over here for you to wash. If you want the $60, I just need you to come over here and wash these couple of loads of clothes for me. And you got to hang them up and fold them up and put them in the drawers and stuff. But I got you with them $60. And that's how she was coming up and getting them $60. Now she got a job. She called me and asked me, Auntie, can I please borrow $40 until Wednesday? And so I said, I'm going to see. This is a test. I'm going to see how she handled this $40 until Wednesday. So I gave her the $40. And Wednesday morning when I woke up, the $40 was in my cash out. Yeah, we weren't hurting. That's the thing. We weren't, and see, today's times are way different. I ain't even realized that food cost, but see, food didn't cost that much back then. It's just today's time. I be like, good grief. I'm not even an egg. I use eggs to make cakes. I'm not an egg eater, but if y'all be out there buying eggs for breakfast, good luck on that, cuz I don't. I looked at the prices of them eggs because I wanted to see what people was talking about, and I was like, "Good grief, these damn eggs!" Like I remember you could buy a carton of eggs for maybe $1, or the Eggland bits at the most was like $2 or $3. Now I go and look at the regular store brand eggs, and they talking about $6 a dozen. I'm like, what? And y'all, they be messing with me because I love my heavy whipping cream. I love my butter. Girl, butter is like $7, $8. I'm getting to the point where I'm finna start putting my heavy whipping cream. in a goddamn stand mixer, and I'm finna start making my own butter. Maybe that'll be the best thing, cause I like making garlic butter, cinnamon brown sugar butter, herb and I like making my herbs and garlic butter. So I might have to start doing that and then have me some buttermilk left over. It's this girl 35 for oh child. It's a girl on TikTok. Her thing is leaf and beans, I think. I had started watching her on TikToks because she went and got her homestead and she be out there milking her cows. She be going in her chicken coop getting her eggs. She been ready. She been ready. She growing collard greens. She grow peppers. She be showing you how to ferment things, how to can things, how to. She been ready. You hear me? This lady been ready. So what I said I was gonna do was the next time I buy me a bag of onions. I mean a bag of yeah onions. You can do onions. The things that I buy all the time, lemons. I seen somebody do a whole lemon tree. I've been watching them do that lemon tree since they got them seeds. They showed you how to get a sprout for the lemon seeds and do your whole little lemon tree. Now that lemon tree is probably like a good 4 feet. It's bearing fruit. I done seen them do the pineapples. I'm gonna start getting into it for real on everything, everything, because I I I see everything is expensive. I know how to make my own butter. I don't, and then the thing is that I come across videos and I see how easy it is for you to do, and I have to try it. So when I went and got me a carton of heavy whipping cream, I had to try it. Usually I use my heavy whipping cream for my Alfredo sauces and little stuff like that. But when I went and got, I one day I just went and bought me a carton of heavy whipping cream, and I said I'm gonna see if I can make me some butter. Mature sister. Mature sister got a channel on here. It's called The Scary Cat Gardener. And she got a cooking channel. I can't think of the name of her cooking show. But The Scary Cat Gardener, I had started watching her and I enjoy her content. And she show you the most simplest ways of gardening out of containers. But she says she a scared cat, but I don't know, cause you doing pretty decent over there, girl. I see you damn people done bought you them what's the name of that cookware? Baby, that cookware so expensive. Her subscribers done bought her a whole the set itself costs like the set itself costs like maybe $300 or $400. The subscriber done bought her a set of the damn pots. One of the skillets costs like $199 by itself. Then they bought her like a cutting board. I said, your subscribers love you, girl. She said her name is Pam. She said, I don't have the patience to wait for them things to grow. I felt like that too, Riri. I really did. But what else am I doing? Y'all know I work from home. I can't drive. I sit around and I don't do nothing. So, hell, I could sit it in the window next to my desk that I work in and do it like that. I can't put it in the back because Bambi don't be out there every morning waiting on my dumb ass. So, I can't do that. So, yeah. Yeah, I want to do that, Sonya. I really do. I'm gonna start with the lemon bush and probably that pineapple bush. It's a guy on here. He make things look so simple, but child, I don't know. And then I want to try both of those. Like I said, I make butter. I can make my own butter because butter is expensive as I don't know what. And I don't like using like margarine. I don't use margarine. I use butter. She showed Miss Pam showed how to make. She did it with it was like a butter substitute, but she had did it with coconut oil and olive oil, and she just stirred them. She didn't even use the mixer. She just stirred them things up, put them in a mold, put it in the refrigerator, and spread that on some toast. I was like, well, all right then, girl. Now, would I do that? I don't think so, cause I'm not a margarine person. And to me, that's like I have to have the real deal butter. And I use butter on, child, I use butter on everything. If I'm finna grill me, like some saute me some chicken, I'm gonna use me some butter. But y'all, listen, I came back to talk to y'all about I need to go watch her. I only watch her sporadically. Yeah, I watch her. I've been watching her for a very long time. And when she come up in my feed, sometimes I might click on the videos and sometimes I might. She do a lot of shorts. I love her shorts. And sometimes I look at them and sometimes I don't. But for some reason, the video where she would look like she was crying, I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I had to look at that one and I was like, oh my God, this person love you, but she do give you some pretty good information. So I think that if you find a content creator, that's what I say about buying memberships on certain channels. If they are offering you information that helps you within your life, and I ain't just watching a video that you put on membership that you went live and everybody got to see, then I might not. I can't join no membership anyway because somebody said this is a branded channel and I can't join a membership. But I could join a membership on my other channel, but I'm rarely on that channel. So, mm, but it'll be. I got the girl who do she do her planner stuff. She give you free downloads and things. See, that's worth it for me. If I'm gonna get something out of it, then yes, I'm going to actually. I could do it. Like I sign up for their Patreons. The girls who do like the free PDFs, if you're part of their Patreon, or something like that. You got to be able to make it interesting. Make me feel like you appreciate me and I'm just not paying you for some BS. That's my thing. I ain't finna pay you for no BS. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It gotta be worth it gotta be worth it. I don't. It be some memberships. I be like, golly, I wish I could join a membership because it's worth it. It's worth it. Shoot. Give me some PDFs. Give me some free patterns. Y'all know I crochet. I do bling t-shirts. If somebody give me a free pattern or something like that to where I can make me some t-shirts and stuff, then I love you for life. I give you a membership, but I just go and join that Patreon. I tell a lot of people that I deal with. Unfortunately, it won't let me join your membership, but I see you still got a Patreon, so I join over there. That's what I do. But we just came over here to talk about Tanya Thomas and Anthony Curry and the conjugal visits. I ain't even think conjugal visits even existed anymore. That's why I had to go and research that information because it just that shocked me for me to find out that you went inside a prison to be killed by a prisoner. And the second guy, he ain't even, they haven't even put him on charges yet. They ain't even gave him charges. Could you imagine how tough it is for the family? And yes, they are talking about lawsuits. And I believe they deserve to sue them because, you know, my baby, my mama wouldn't be dead if she didn't come to that prison and y'all wasn't supervising your inmate. But that's crazy. Like, you see this man killed that 19, he tried to kill the 19-year-old girl. She survived. Why in the hell are you going to do conjugal visits with him? I wonder if that was the first time they did the conjugal visit. And Andre, if you still in here, it was in California. So in California, they still allow them to have conjugal visits. So basically, oh yeah, I was gonna look up. Let me see what states allow conjugal visits. Girl, go away. Damn, you nosing. So the four states that still allow conjugal visits would be California, Connecticut, New York, and Washington State. Mm. So sad. Very sad. You go to a conjugal visit. They call them family visits. So I wonder if what if you, okay, so what if you were married to somebody and he and now offer like some DV type situations, y'all have kids and y'all want to do family visitation. And then y'all go to the prison to do the family visitation. Because the second lady, Stevie, she actually, oh, this was it's the prison is called Mule Creek. Mule Creek State Prison. Let me see what it said. Hold on. Y'all had to get out of there because it's so fast. It started with a R. Hold on. It's in Long, California. The physical address is 4001 Highway 104 in Long, California. It say it gave me all they breakdown. But it's called Mule Creek State Prison, located at 4001 Highway 104 in Lone, California. That's Lone, California. It's called the Mule Creek State Prison on the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Where is Where is Long? Is Mule Creek dangerous? Dangerous. It says it is considered a potentially dangerous environment due to the nature of its inmates and the potential for violence. So why would they even allow you to have conjugal visits there. You said that ain't too far for you, girl. Oh, why would okay? So they said that it is considered a violent locate. It's considered a violent environment due to the nature of the crimes that the prisoners has done. So why would they allow for conjugal visits at that particular facility? Yeah, it's long. Lone. Mm, mm, child. Ooh, God, I be scared. Mm, mm. Y'all know I have this thing for Ali Sadiq. Ali Sadiq is a comedian out of Houston, Texas. And he has a four-part series called The Domino Effect. And the Domino Effect, he talks about um how he went from being a person that was a child to eventually a drug dealer and spending if I'm not mistaken, I think he spent like 6 years. Yep. Cause I'm gonna do they have to pay for that? He spent 6 years in a correctional facility because he was a drug dealer. He was selling that crack cocaine. He was selling that when he was 14. If I'm not mistaken, he's like a year older than me. The story is really, really good. And that's one of his comedy specials because he's like a storyteller, um, comedian. He's a storytelling comedian. And I found him on YouTube just looking. And one day I realized that when I looked at the first one I looked at, it was actually when he was in prison. And when I looked at the video, I was very entertained because he told how he was even how he became a comedian was simply because he um he just was actually in prison and they had him in a particular area where everybody and I just looked mean and mad and they never laughed. They ain't even have a TV. So he said when he would go in there to do whatever he had to do in their dorm, he went in there and he reenacted what happened on Martin. And I seen the interview that they did with him. This other guy did an interview with him. And basically the guy was like, did you do Shanae Ali Sadiq? Yes. Did you? They asked him, did he do Shanae? And he said, yeah, I did Shanae. I love him too, Sonya. I do. I love his mentality. And that's why I say I'm not, people can be reformed. It's just the ones, like I said, you find people that will go out here and take someone's life as if they can't get caught. You know, all this DNA and hold on. You have DNA, you have CODIS, you have all these other devices that they can find you unless you go and hide yourself under a rock or you dig you a bunker. They can find you and they can put you in prison or on death row just like that. So I ain't never understood the mindset of how people feel like they can get away with those type of crimes. When it comes to what Ali Sadiq did, in a sense, I kind of put that on environment because Ali had explained how, and his comedy special, he talked about how his father, he wanted, as his father let him come and live with him, and his father told him one night while he was living with him that, look, I'm finna go out somewhere, some people gonna knock on the door, and you just open the door, get the money, and give them this. And at the time, he was 10 years old, so he didn't know he was selling drugs. But he was selling drugs for his dad. And his dad left him at home at 10 years old by himself, told him the people that would be coming knocking on the door, and he wanted to get the money and he give them the drugs. So then you move to an area and everybody in your community, they're selling drugs. You outside with particular shoes on, and everybody else, they looking good. They sharp as a tack. They looking good. So you asking them, what kind of job, what you doing, and they tell you what they doing, and then you figure, shit, I could do that too, and you end up being in a situation where you start selling drugs. And back then, it was so easy because that's the era that I come from. Like I said, he's a year older than me. Most of the guys who was living in, around my area, they was selling drugs. The young guys was selling drugs. We had a teen club here, and we would go to the teen club, and majority of the people at the teen club, them boys was in high school, had cars, had money, had all kind of stuff going on. And we teenagers. So I guess that's why I like him too, Riri, because I can kind of relate to him because this is something that I've seen with my own eyes. When he was explaining to the audience on how he started selling drugs, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember when this person was out there selling drugs and all that." That's why when people be talking about how it be so funny to me. A lot of times when you look at what other people talk about on the internet, and they be talking about things like how it's so sad how that grown ass man was messing with that girl, knowing she was just in the 11th grade. That grown ass man was messing with the girl. So, on my Facebook page, I have a lot of people who went to school with me. And when they was talking about the whole R. Kelly situation and stuff like that, I was shaking my head, but at the same time, I was dating somebody who went to school with me. I think that my ex is he a year older than me too. But we be the same age for a little while. Like my birthday in April, his in July. So until July, we the same age. So when I turned 51 on April the 14th, yes, I got 13 days. I got 13. eh, But when I turn 51, he gonna be 51 until we get to the 21st of July. So we the same age. But it was so funny to me to see like all my schoolmates and people who went to school with me when they was talking about how um the thing with R. Kelly and stuff like that. But they were going with all the 20-some-year-old dope boys on them daggone eights and bowls coming up to the school to pick them up after school. That you couldn't tell them that they wasn't the shit, baby. Them girls, you swear they had it going on, cause the boys used to take the men, they were men, used to go and take them shopping, and you couldn't tell them that they wasn't the shit. That's why I be shaking my head, girl. I be like, girl, whatever, girl, whatever. But y'all know I don't got the rambling. She said, yes, I had an older boy. Being fast. And I think that's how a lot of these people get caught up. Now, this whole Diddy thing, and now that's sickening to me. But yeah, he's a character. Diddy is a character. But it just tripped me out how they was just so in a rage. I started coming up on, y'all know I don't care. I started coming up on them people stuff like, so what it was when Bo Gator used to come up there to the school and pick you up. You don't remember that? Oh, okay. I know he probably now probably 60, and here we go 50. So tell that to your mama, girl. Cause I know you ain't in outrage about R now. But do I agree with what R. Kelly did? No, I don't. And will I still listen to some R. Kelly music? Hell yeah, I will. I will. It's other things that we could be upset about. But you can't nobody tell me that man was no musical genius. I can't go for that. That's a musical genius. But y'all, I've been rambling. I had told one this the last thing and I'm out, but I had told my brother, I was like, man, this old bitch keep trying me. I said it was an old bitch keep trying me. Y'all don't know this, but lately I have been very docile. So I've been kind of to myself within myself. I haven't bothered anybody. Usually I'm a firecracker. I cuss a bitch out in a minute. I will. And I haven't been displaying that because I've been within myself. I've been to myself. And anytime it's like something with our family, I just laugh and just keep it moving. Cause who got time for that, right? So yeah, I've been within myself. So I just laugh, I laugh and keep it moving or whatever. But today my brother called, he was like, okay, so what would you like to eat tomorrow? Because I know you probably don't want to cook. So I was like, what about tacos? Like, I don't mind cooking tacos. I said you can even get like a one of them El Paso kits with the soft taco, hard taco. You can get a couple of chicken breasts. I cut them up and some bell peppers and onions and cheese and sour cream. And we can have us a taco night tomorrow because I had cooked a big a big pot of spaghetti last night. So that's what we eating today. So he was like, okay, sis. And he was like, dang, why you sound like that? I said, because I just had to go the fuck off on a bitch. I'm so sick and tired of whole trying. I hate when bitches try folk. Like, these bitches crazy. And then he was like, I don't know why you let nobody rub you up like that, but you shouldn't let nobody get under your skin like that, sis. And so I went to telling him about what I pinpointed as. I pinpointed as if you don't say nothing to a person they back them up off of you, then they will continuously try you. Also, when a person do something for you, they will continuously try and make you be into their debt. So I had reminded him, I said, you remember when I first started having seizures, And I was telling you about my good friends and how they started that meal thing where I was getting food and stuff like that because didn't nobody want me in the kitchen at the time because we didn't know how to, stop the seizures. And he was like, "Yeah, I remember that was real nice of them." I was like, "Well, it was nice, but I ain't got time for bitches to throw shit up in my motherfucking face." And he was like, "What?" And I just went off. This bitch trying me. I don't go for that shit. Ain't no bitch finna be motherfucking trying me. And he was like, "Hold on now. Look. Calm down. You been doing good. You ain't been letting people get under your skin. Just calm down. You been doing real good. Cause I know how you blow." And I was like, "But see now, the day is the first. How the fuck a bitch gonna come at me at the new year? I ain't with that." Hey boy, my brother was like, My brother was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot you said the new year began on April the 1st, and you one of them people." He said, "You not the only person who feel like that. But yeah, okay, the April the 1st is the new year." Then I went into it's motherfucking round season and bitches trying me and I don't know what the fuck going on, but these bitches better get it together. These bitches better get it together. My brother was like, "You know what? Welcome back, bitch." My brother said, "You been so fucking docile and demure." He said, "You been so, you been so." He said, "If you said anything, then I wouldn't know it because you really have been so into you." He said, "You really been so into you. You haven't been going in on people." He said, "I noticed in the family group, you just laugh stuff off." He said, "You would have cussed their ass out, but lately, you been to yourself." I said, "Well, I'm back, bitch." Y'all, I don't know what y'all watching these days, but I'm going to tell y'all what I'm watching. At 8 o'clock, one of my favorite shows, Will Trent, going to be on ABC. Will Trent is like the GBI, which is the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. And it's based out of Atlanta. And I love it because I get to see some Atlanta landmarks. And I just love the show because of the plot line and things like that. So I'm gonna watch that at 8 o'clock. It's only two shows right now that I really like set my alarm for because I got to see it. I know a lot of you all was talking about Yellowstone. I don't know if you watched 1883 and 1923, but 1923 is now on season 2, and I Sunday nights is where I'm at. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I've been quiet. Um, and it's a lot of reasons why I've been quiet. I've been grounded so that I can actually understand what I'm doing and when it comes to the medication that I take. I think that the medication that I take, I'm good because I understand how it works and it has really helped me as far as blackouts and seizures. I haven't had one in a minute. And that's it, y'all. So it's 7:40 p.m. on the East Coast. I got 20 minutes before Will Trent. I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna get on my treadmill and I'm going to walk a minute. So y'all go look at Will Trent as well as Sophie. If you don't get out my face looking at my spaghetti when you got a whole bowl of your stuff. Go eat your stuff. Don't look at me sideways, cause that's not gonna help. Go eat your stuff. Okay, bet y'all. But yeah, y'all look at Will Trent. Come on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it whatever y'all time is over there. And then on Sundays, if I recommend that if you looked at Yellowstone with Kevin Costner, then you need to go look at 1883, which is the prequel, and the prequel to Yellowstone will be 1923. 1923 does not have Kevin Costner yet, but we got Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford look good as an old granddad. So y'all go look at that. And y'all have a wonderful evening. You too, Riri. And thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Let me eat my food before it get cold. Bye. It's really good, Sonya. I'm telling you, you go watch it. It's really, really good.